preamble first, I guess. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Design Review Board will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Westborough's website at town.westborough.ma.us. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch this meeting may do so in the following manner. Members of the public wishing to participate from their remote location are encouraged to email their questions to planning@town.westborough.ma.us. Emails need to include your full name and address in the subject line in order to be read as part of the record. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. This meeting can be viewed on Verizon Channel 28 and Charter Channel 192, or live streamed online at westboroughTV.org. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Town of Westborough's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after this meeting. All right, let's go 65 East Main Street first.
So Michael, you have a vote that I proposed for you. The issue here is simply the signage. As you recall, when you approved the building, you reserved the right to review and approve signage at a later date. You did approve the location of the directional signage. However, you didn't approve the design itself. And we're back now just as a business keeping, housekeeping item to approve the signage as shown on the plans, and the plans are referenced.
Okay. So I have the motion in front of me here. I was not at the last meeting that this was approved at. Does that matter if I can read this motion and start this motion, Jim, or?
I would have someone else that's been at the meeting do it and second it, but you can certainly vote.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, shall I go ahead and do it?
Please.
All right. I move that the Westborough Design Review Board clarify and amend its previous motion of July 29, 2020 by adding the approval of the signage plans for 65 East Main Street as shown on a plan drawn by Viewpoint Sign and Awning from Middlesex Savings Bank, sheets S-100 through S-108, 9 sheets in total, each dated 7/22/2020.
I will second that motion. We have a vote. Hazel?
Yes to approve.
Yep, yes to approve here. And we have Cindy.
Cindy, you're muted.
Yes.
All right, good. That's everybody, right? Excellent. All right. All good. All right, we'll close out that hearing and we'll go to 85 East Main Street final field review. Is there anyone here to speak to that?
I'll speak to it first, Michael, just because to set the scene. As you know, the Design Review Board approved plans for 85 East Main Street as part of the special permit issued by the Planning Board in 2018, I believe. Mm-hmm. The Design Review Board approved a very nice plan drawn by Smoke architects and designers. And I did the site visit for the closeout and the occupancy permit last week, took some notes in the field. There were several substitutions that I found from items that were shown on the plans. I reached out to Clay with my list last week and gave him an opportunity to come back to the town to see if he wished to amend the plans or if he was going to install the items as shown on the plans. These were not major items. You're looking at the front elevation of the building. For example, the louvers in the gable ends are non-functional. I'm not sure if they were intended to be functional. On the plans, they show them as real louvers. I'm not sure if that was for air exchange or if they're ornamental. If they're ornamental, the board may wish to just allow them to make the changes on the plan. Similar thing on the rear elevation. The only significant changes were there were a couple windows that were swapped out for doors. It looks like one of them is a fire mechanical room, so I certainly understand why that was done, but the board would need to note the changes on the plan so that I can sign off on the occupancy.
Are those the only changes, Jim?
No, I don't know, probably Kristen doesn't have my memo. There were multiple changes. I can read them to the board. So on
we should include them in any motion we make, shouldn't he? It's going to have to list every single one of the changes.
Yeah, so Smook Architects got back to me by email, said that they wouldn't be ready for today. And then I was kind of surprised that someone came in after the end of business on Friday and asked to be on the agenda. The agenda is actually closed, but I put them on in advance thinking that there might be an opportunity for them to be ready. So I understand that Eric Gilmore or someone representing the Smook Architects or the engineers are wanting to speak to the board. So you're looking at the front elevation. On the front elevation, we're talking about the two louvers in the gabled end. The entryway door you see is a divided light, 1/1 here, 4 lights in the door. The door that was installed is solid, so there are no lights. The trim also in the main windows to the left on the elevation are supposed to have white trim between the windows, between the top transom window and the main windows. In the field, it's actually all brown. The casing is white as shown, but the trim around the windows is brown instead of white. On the other elevations, on the north elevation, which is facing the woods, there is a similar issue with the trim color not being white, but rather being brown. The last set of windows on the side before the garage, the 2 windows side by side, not that one, the next one to the right, Kristen, that's been replaced with a door that might be for access to a mechanical room. On the elevation above, which is the south elevation, let's see. The trim again doesn't match the approved plan. It's the same issue as on the north elevation. The garage doors on the right there do not have transom windows. They are solid in the field. And then on the rear elevation, you're going to see when Kristen gets there that there are 2 vents that are supposed to be louvered. They are as shown on the plan right here. So the 2 gabled end vents are solid. They're not louvered as shown in the specification on note number 3. The trim color is also different on the windows again. These are not major things. They're easily changed on the plan. The windows in the door swap out, I'm assuming, is a request of the fire department because it looks like it's a mechanical room. If that's the case, I'm certainly not going to have a problem with that.
Could I say something? This is Lou Amarati from Gilmore Building Company.
Yes, please, Lou.
On the front door of the building where it shows the residential style half-light door, that actually was replaced with a full light door. It's not a door with no panels in it. So it's sort of keeping in line with the big window that's right next to it. I have a picture of it if I don't know if Kristen can throw those pictures up that I sent over.
I stopped sharing, so you can go ahead. Can you go ahead and share from your end?
Okay.
Lou, can you also explain why you made the changes?
Yeah. So let me just focus on the, I have a close-up of this as well. Yeah. So here's the front entrance. And the problem is that we were having a difficult time finding commercial hardware that would work on a residential style door. And when we brought this to the architect's attention, he agreed to allow us to make the change to a door style that was consistent with the other doors on the back side of the building.
So there are no lights, just it's a one glass panel, Lou?
Full glass panel, yep. And we take a look at the back of the building. That's the same doors that you see here.
Now, can you see into the building through those doors?
You can, yep.
I'm a little surprised, actually, for safety's sake, that you would have full glass doors on a
Well,
commercial building.
these doors only enter into a vestibule area. You open up these doors, you enter into a small lobby. On the front of the building, and you already have these two big side lights next to the doors. And then on the front of the building, you know, the fact that there's a giant window right next to the door, I don't think really makes much of a difference in terms of having the front door be a partial or a solid panel door from a security standpoint.
And Lou, the finish on that matches the finish on the windows, is that true?
Correct, yep.
The finish on the window, though, Lou, is different than what was on the approved plan. So
That's right. Well, what's on the approved plan on the front of the building, you have the brown color in between the windows, as you see here in this picture. And you know, Clay seemed to think that it was a mistake in the design review board drawings that the colors on the sides of the building and the back of the building, he seemed to think that they should all be consistent with the front of the building, and that's why we went with the same color throughout.
So I'm looking at my approved designs right now, and they're in the front of the building. There's a trim, a light color trim separating the windows, separating the transom in the front. That main window, that's
This window right here.
yes, that window right there.
Yeah.
There's a light trim line. So the plan is different. Also, the sill on the windows is supposed to be the soft chamois color. It might have been some kind of stone, but you installed brick.
Right. What was originally planned was a precast, concrete precast unit to be for the sills.
Okay.
And when we got to construction, our mason suggested that precast would not hold up very well over long term.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was suggested that we switch to a true limestone product. It was just at the time very difficult to come by. And when we brought that to the architect's attention, he suggested that we use brick on these two sills and keep the limestone over on the other side.
So Lou, the approval is meant to be installed. If you need to make changes, you need to get the approval of the board before you just go ahead and do them.
Got it.
I understand your logic, but you need approval before the installation. So it'll be up to the board to accept the change, and then the plan, the revisions or the changes, the substitutions will need to be noted on the plans for the building department's file.
Okay.
Lou, can you talk about the louvers on the front elevation?
Oh yeah, of course. Those are all decorative. They never were intended to be functional.
So are there, what, it looks like a solid piece of metal there in the photo. Again,
That's right.
I can't see. Is that what's there, or is there something else?
No, it's trim material. It's the same material that you would find around the rest of the building as far as the trim.
Why was the louver exchanged out?
Well, with it being a non-functional unit, it seemed to make sense just to fill it in with solid material like we did on the back.
And the same thing, the circle louvers on the back of the building. Those are just solid white discs.
Yeah, you can see it here in this picture. Yeah, I mean, it's a very similar look.
Are the louver designs more difficult to come by? Is that why they were not available?
Those were, can I say something actually, Jim?
Yeah.
Hi, Jim. Hey, it's Eric Gilmore.
I,
Yeah, when we were doing when you get into the final design, the louvers were not intended because of the way that the building was vented. There was no reason for those to be actual functioning louvers. So they got changed to these solid pieces. There's no reason to, have anything have a possibility of let water into the building. So that was the reasoning behind that. Figured keep the exact same look, but let's keep this thing sealed up tight.
The thing is, I think what you have to remember,
open the door.
Hazel Nurse, I think what you have to remember is that we approve these. We're there for design. So one of the reasons we approve things is how they look. So, I think people sometimes forget that. I think that's our job really, is to look at
Sure.
the decorative aspects and various things like that. And, this is why I really find it irritating that people go ahead and change things and then after the fact come to us and say, well, it really didn't make any difference. It's now done. It puts us in an awkward position. And, it means that we have other builders that come in and say, well, we just made a few changes and they're all done. It just doesn't sit well with me, particularly with companies that work in this town all the time. And Clay obviously should have known, or I would have thought Clay would have known that if he was making changes in the plan, he had to come back to the design review board.
Yeah, she's opening the door.
Yeah, that I can't speak to what Clay did or didn't know, but I think his overall intention had to be to make, because he went through the whole design review board process, was to make sure that the building was still stylistically in keeping with exactly what you guys approved, while also kind of keeping in mind with some of the the realities of the world at the time and the availability and functionality. I think that's, I don't want to speak for him, but that's what it appears to me to be what it was going on. No disrespect to the design review board intended.
Yeah, I just think again, my summation, I'm okay with the door change. The louvers, as small as a change as it is, there's a certain texture and shadow that you get, particularly on the front, since it's the street elevation. It just looks kind of like a little Band-Aid on top of each gable over there. It's hard to see the back circles here, but I imagine the same. Again, it's I don't think it's an awesome change, the louvers. but that's my take. Cindy, do you have an opinion on the louvers or the door?
I agree with you that it would look nicer if the louvers were in place. If it's easily swapped out at this point, or if it is able to be swapped out at this point back to the original plan, I think that would be preferred, especially in the front.
How do you guys feel about the window sill? If Lou, can we go back to the front elevation?
Sure.
I guess in my view, just looking at the front on the left, we've got the brick window sill or stool, and then on the right-hand side, you've got the is that limestone?
Yeah.
Lou? Yeah.
Yep.
So I think they both look, in my opinion, they both look, as they should look, despite what the original drawing said. So I guess I'm okay with the change there.
Lou, can you explain to me why the doors were substituted in place of the windows?
The door, so there actually only was one door that was replacing a window, and that was right here.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of the building, let me get to it. There were no windows that were replaced with doors on this side.
Okay, my mistake. You're correct.
So the one door that we did have to put in here was deemed a requirement for egress purposes
Mm-hmm.
when the interior of the building was finally designed.
Why the change in the window next to the door, to the left of the door?
Right here?
To the left of the door, yes. So if you look at the elevation that was approved, they're double hung windows similar to the other side of the elevation. So if you can show the elevation.
That was for a utility room to go
I
there.
thought so, okay.
Yeah.
And the door on the rear of the building where the porta potty is because building code requires you to have a door outside the garage?
That's right.
Okay. So on the original, for the board's information, on the original approved elevation there for the rear, there was no door there where the porta potty is, but I understand building code required it. And then you can see further down to the left of the garage door, you can see the second means of egress that was required. Why the removal of the louvers, or why the different door on the garage?
The garage doors themselves.
Yeah.
Well, this is where a potential security issue did come to mind. With having glass windows in the garage doors, the building owner felt that it was more appropriate that they be solid doors rather than have glass in them.
Are those doors panelized, or is it just they flat?
Whoops, there we go. Can you see that a little better? Yeah, they're flat panel doors.
And they're a different color. We had, it looked like the design drawings had a brownish neutral color, and they were panelized. Is that accurate?
Yeah, they looked like a carriage house style door.
So Lou, just so you know, the design review regulations are trying to make buildings in this district look residential because this is the gateway district.
Mhm.
I recognize the purpose is for commercial use, but the design is intended to be a transition between residential and commercial as you enter the downtown. If you look across the street at the 2 doctors' offices, actually there's 3 doctors' offices over there now. They're all residential in nature, as well as the hair salon that's your neighbor down the street, are all residential in nature. So most of these changes that were made to this building were commercial changes. So I think the board needs to recognize that when they approve these. And in the future, please let your architect know, and I'm letting you know, Lou, that if you do business in this district again, that you can't make these changes in the field without pre-approval by the design review board.
Got it.
And Jim, I will say that these changes were not, they were made, other than the garage doors, in conjunction with Clay's office. It wasn't like we were just disregarding what was going on.
Yeah, but Clay's not here, right?
Yeah, exactly. He had other commitments already. But we'd be happy to, document for sure.
Sure, that's great.
Yep.
Well, that was the point I was trying to make, and that's what concerns me about people who should be familiar with what goes on in this town, since they practice here, that they should be aware of the regulations and rules, particularly if they're doing buildings.
Okay, so Jim, what is required at this point?
Well, the applicant should submit revised plans for the board to approve. I mean, if you're okay with these changes that were made, just direct Lou and Eric to get with Clay Smook and have him develop the plans to show the changes in the field.
Does anybody on the board have any other comments about the changes to this design? And
I guess my question to you, Michael, is that both you and Cindy discussed going back to the other type of louvers on the front of the building. Are we going to request him to do that?
well, certainly, if there's a fix that can be done in the field without ripping the building apart to get some sort of louver or texture at those slots up there, I think it's a better building. And certainly the doors are not beautiful. The garage doors are not beautiful. I'm okay with the sills. I'm okay with the doors. But the garage doors are a little utilitarian.
Can I point out that they're not visible from the street?
I'm sorry, is that Eric?
Hello?
Sorry, I was just pointing out the fact that the
Yeah, I can't hear you, Eric.
I can't hear you, Lou.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I must have been too far away. I was just mentioning the fact that the garage doors themselves are not visible from the street.
I don't disagree with you, but they were presented to the town in the elevations, and I guess that was expectation. Again, they are not visible from the road. It's a beautiful building. It's just kind of a letdown, when you get around the corner. It's beautiful the whole way, and then boom. Anybody have any other suggestions for Eric and Lou? Cindy or Hazel? Hazel, I think you.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, Eric, Lou, you guys are good. You'll get together with Clay and
Yep.
and then come back to us.
Yeah, we'll get together with Clay, document. In the meantime, we'll take a look and see if we can find a louver material for the front.
Yeah.
Maybe something, a FIPON or something like that. Does that make sense to you, Michael?
Yeah, as long as it fits in there and it doesn't
Yeah.
cause you any water issues or insect issues. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would sounds like I think an easy fix.
Okay, so we'll see if we can do that for those louvers out there.
Awesome.
And then we can document we'll document the rest of those changes as well. And then I guess head on. But do you resubmit those documented changes to you guys and then go to another design review board meeting like this? Is that the process?
That would be the process. Yes, if you get with Kristen and we'll do our best to turn it around as soon as you resubmit.
Do you know when the next meeting will be?
It's as needed. So
Okay.
So again, we can be somewhat really quick on the turn.
Okay.
Jim, I had one question. All those solar panels, I assume were where they were supposed to be?
Yes, so they were approved by us. We had a plan that showed it. I found that in the file just recently, after I visited the site. Initially, I had concern about the solar panels, but I'll say two things. First of all, the design review board doesn't have authority over roof-mounted solar panels as long as it meets the building code. So they could put them in now at the beginning or put them in later at a later date as long as they got a building permit. But Clay did submit an elevation showing solar panels in anticipation that the owner was going to install them.
Okay.
Okay, we all good?
Yep.
All right, Eric, Lou, thank you guys very much. Just let us know when you're ready, and as I said, we'll do our best to turn it fast.
Sounds good.
If you could stop sharing your screen before you leave. There you go. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, Farouk, 1 Gleason Street, Village Commons.
Yes. Through the chairman, Jamal just texted me and said that he waited till 9 o'clock. He had to go to another meeting, so he left. But he said if you need him, he will be back after 9:30.
Okay.
Okay. If,
All right.
if you need him. So.
Keep going, and we'll make a list for him if we have questions. How's that?
Okay.
Perfect.
That's fine.
What do we want to talk about first? You want to talk about the commercial building? Is that our?
Let's do the commercial building first, then the garage or summer house, and then the residential.
Is it my turn to speak or?
Yes, please, Farouk. Yes.
Okay. The last conversation that, or the direction that you'd given to Jamal was to give the stone lining at the bottom of the building all the way around rather than just the 2 sides, and also all the way down to the grade. And that was the only comment that was there. So he did do that.
Mhm.
So it's all on 4 sides. If you show that, the MP4, yeah.
And we have the 2 sidings as we discussed before. There's the
Yes, yes, you can see clearly they got 2 different sidings there.
Okay.
You can't run the video, huh? The MP4?
I saw the last video, Farouk. It was very nice.
Okay, thank you.
We did see it.
Okay,
So-
good.
Did we also add the lights along the building? I don't remember those. I like those.
Yep, I think somebody must have told him, and he did add that, and also provided the cut sheet for the loop awning lights.
Okay.
So it's complete.
All right. Anybody, Hazel or Cindy?
If we approve this building as such, are we also approving the sign, or can that come later?
I assume that's a placeholder. The lights we are approving, but not the sign.
Okay, thank you.
That's your intention, Farouk, correct?
That is correct. It's just to show that that's where the sign will go, but we don't know what that's going to be. So
Yeah, no, I like the lights.
Come back. They'd have to come back for the signage.
that's
Okay.
correct.
Thank you.
And can we see the spec on the lights? Is that close by, Kristen?
One second, Michael. For the record, Kristen, would you note that Farouk acknowledged he needed to come back for the sign?
Yes.
I have a question
Yes, Jim.
on the, what I call the marquee over the first floor and the second floor. On your plans that you submitted dated 8/6/20, it looks like originally dated 6/30/20, revised 8/6/20. You show hardy shingles on the second floor where the sign is that says Village Commons with the gooseneck lighting. Those are shakes. In this rendering, Farouk, just so you know, your rendering is different from your specifications. If the board approves the plans, you're building the specifications, not this color rendering.
That's correct.
Yeah. So let's flip down to the architectural elevations.
Jim, is it worthwhile to, I mean, one of the problems we've had all the way along is the fact that the architectural renderings don't look like what the buildings end up looking like. And so then we get the builder, we get, the contractor comes in. Sometimes he looks at the architectural renderings, fails to look at the plans themselves. And this is where we seem to have had a disconnect. So is there some way that we can just do something about that? Because was the problem we had all the way along.
Sure. So the board approves plans that are dated and each plan sheet is numbered. The renderings are not numbered and we're not approving the renderings. I take that back. The renderings are numbered, but we're not approving the renderings. You can make it specific in your vote that you're approving the plan specifications dated and numbered the following. And when you get to that point, I'll do a motion for you.
Okay,
So that's
thank you.
But it's Farouk's responsibility to either be a project manager or get a project manager that makes this clear to the builder, to the contractor. It's totally Farouk's responsibility. The buck stops with him.
Right. But that's the problem we had with the residential. So many times as we had those renderings and then they were not connected to the plans.
Right. That's because he built the color rendering. He didn't build the specifications.
Exactly.
I don't even know, Farouk, if you knew you had specifications, but it was your responsibility to get those from the developer who had them approved.
Hey, Kristen, could you go back and zoom in on the elevations? Please. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let's look at this. All right. So those are the lights that go on the exterior siding. 12 inches high. Okay. And we're going to go black.
Right.
Okay.
Where are the
Yes.
gooseneck lights? Have you got the specs for those?
Yes, that was submitted earlier.
Yeah, I want to read the text on the callouts, Kristen, one more time, please.
I'm sorry, what is it, Michael, that you want me to zoom in on?
So I want to zoom in on the front elevation, the top elevation on the sheet, and I just want to be able to read the callouts. Yeah, that's good right there. Okay. Yeah, so we've got, again, in this call out, we've got the standing seam roof on the fascia board, And then it calls out the hardy shingle siding, pearl gray. And then on the other side, the same thing. The pearl gray hardy shingle is called out. And then the lap siding is called out, the Booth Bay blue. And then we've got our stone sample, New England ledge veneer. Okay. And I assume that's the same, that is the same stone that we saw on site a couple months back, Farouk, correct?
Yes, exactly the same.
All right, and then we've got our black fabric awning.
Yep.
We saw the lights already.
Yep.
Do you have a window spec as well? I think you had one last time.
I'm sorry, what?
The window spec that says storefront.
Yes, yeah, the window specs are all there.
Okay. And the color is right. Looks like
Yes.
they're black frames. Okay.
What's this fixed window? Michael, do you see the fixed window?
Yeah, so those are the windows in the dormers above.
Yeah.
So fixed just means it doesn't open or operate.
Right, but we don't have a size on it.
I don't think we have sizes on much here.
It's given in the breakdown. The size is given.
Is there a window schedule in this?
There should be.
But you see, normally we have windows, numbers 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so he's got them numbered here. You can see the 1.
Right,
You can see the 2.
2 and the 3,
Yep,
but not on the fixed window.
There's
There is-
7. There's 7.
There's a 7. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
all right, wait to see the specs.
So are those someplace on these drawings, Farouk?
It should be. If you go up and down a little bit, it should be there.
Okay.
So I see no spec on the windows. I see a size for the windows, but there's no indication of what the color of the casings is. There's no indication of the manufacturer. We need a spec.
No, the manufacturer is United. It says it, United.
Say it on the elevation.
Where?
If you go in front of it, it says, I just saw that. I just read it. Can you
It
move
doesn't
that
say
to
in the plans.
No, in the plans, I'm saying it does say that. It says fixed window by United typical. Yeah,
Yeah.
right there. No, yeah, if you have, yeah. You see that fixed window by United?
Yeah, but it doesn't have any, if you don't have it in the specs, we don't know the size of it. There's nothing there that tells us.
Yeah, it can go to the specs, please.
Yeah, the window schedule gives us the size, and the call out says
Right.
window.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says it's given the size. See, it's fixed. Number 7, 2 by 2 feet 4 inches by 2 feet by 4 inches square.
And do the lower windows? I know the storefront windows on the lower level. Are those all by United, or is that a different?
No, those are by different. No. Those are by different people. The specs are all given.
Okay.
I had provided that earlier, and I think it's on here too.
We need one set of plans, Farouk.
So
No. This is all there. See the storefront design? That's the name of the company that does that.
yeah. So if Kristen, can you move the drawing to the left a little? I think there's a call out at the windows below the
Right.
Village Commons
It's
tower.
there. It's all there.
Storefront.
Yes. Yeah, right there. All the specifications are given. The manufacturer is given. Everything is given.
And I assume all the window frames are black. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that called out someplace?
They only come in black.
Well, then you better tell us that they're black.
I thought it said there somewhere. It was black. I think shown in the rendering too.
It's the rendering, though, that we're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll ask Jamal. Maybe he has added it somewhere. If not, then we can put the word black there.
Yeah. And again, as nice as the renderings are and handy as they are, these are the drawings that I assume will make it into the construction drawing sets.
Right,
and that Jim or someone will approve in the field.
no problem.
So even if the rendering shows black, if it doesn't call out black here, we just don't want any return
Black,
trips.
yeah, black goes the best with the whole.
Okay, all right,
Luke,
so
are you taking notes? Are you taking notes, Farouk, on these?
Yeah, I've only seen black missing, the rest is all there.
all right, and so we have the wall mounted lights. Is there a goose mount light?
Yes, there is a cut sheet that I had submitted.
Okay.
Where is it?
It was submitted with the plan somewhere.
So Farouk, I don't have any specifications for your gooseneck lighting or this Mace-Slick lighting that's on the side of the building. I see it on the plan specified, but I need to have a spec for it, a separate spec for it in the plans, so that if I'm the person that's ordering these materials, I know what I'm ordering, because I'm sure this Westinghouse light comes in various sizes and colors.
The sizes are given there. The cut sheet gives you the size. Everything is there on the cut sheet. Can we go to the cut sheet, please? I can have Jamal tie in, hopefully it should be freed up. There should be a cut sheet for the gooseneck too that was submitted earlier. Maybe I can put it on. You guys have seen that.
So I don't have it. I'm looking at all my submittals right now.
Yeah, it's there. Believe me, it's there. Can
So
I just go to that, the other light we just were showing to Mike?
I don't think we've ever seen anything about the lights, Michael, have we?
I don't know. I've seen. I can't remember. I've seen the goosenecks a lot, but I thought it was in the last package. But
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So, oh, you want to see the side lights, Jim? Is that what you asked for?
Yeah,
We just saw that a minute ago.
Yeah, it was. We had a cut sheet. Where'd that go, Kristen? Is that in there somewhere?
So I see a Mace-Slick light.
Yeah, there we go. Right here.
Yep. Okay. Do you have the same for the gooseneck?
Yes, same exact sheet, but different kind of light. But I'm looking at my phone here to see if I get it. That was submitted in earlier. The one before this that was given as a separate thing.
Okay, no more separate submissions. We need one set of plans.
Yeah.
Grief.
Is there another light below the awnings? Is there something?
Yes, there was also yes submitted.
Okay.
I'm looking.
Kristen, can we go back to the plans?
Yeah, I think I just found the spec sheet in my folder for the goosenecks. So let me
Right.
mail those to
Okay.
myself and then I'll get right on it.
Can you display that or?
All right, as soon as I get the file in my email, I'll pull it up. What did you want to see, Hazel, in the meantime?
Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to go back to these so I could look at these again.
Okay,
Not a problem.
all right, as soon as they come in my inbox, I'll pull up those specs for the gooseneck.
And there was a third type of light? Is that correct, Michael? Is there a third type?
Yeah, so there's a light under the awning, the fabric awning at the tower, I believe.
Right. So we
So-
should have the specs for that also.
Yes, that was also submitted.
Where is this submittal? I don't have it in a paper copy.
I sent that to Kristen.
This
Yeah.
this was sent earlier in the process.
Okay.
So I have a file on the network with this that I could print out.
And so I assume that all the shades are the same and the necks are different on each design? And
Yes, it's a
is the
black
neck-
one that we,
Say again, Baruch?
I thought it was the black one that is specified, if you go back and look at it, and the number SAS10, whatever that says.
Is
Okay.
that the 10-inch or the 14?
I mean, we may have to go back and look at the plan and specify it on the plan.
So we need the shade dimension and then the neck style.
Right,
So the one that's specified on your plan says pearl gray. That, I guess that's the shingle. Then the gooseneck light, it says typical.
right.
Well, wait a minute. Don't just keep saying right, Farouk. It needs to specify the style and the color. It just says gooseneck light typical. What's typical?
I think, but to be quite frank with you, it was a black one.
Yeah,
Okay.
but is it 24 inches? Is it 22 inches? Is it 13 inches? I mean, what is it?
I would have to ask the architect that.
Right.
He should be here with us in a couple of minutes, and he should have that answer.
Okay, all right. So we need that?
Oh, right here. He highlighted that.
Okay.
That's right there.
So it needs to be on the spec, because if I'm the contractor out there, I need to know what I'm buying.
Right. No, okay, now we found the spec. I don't know if you put that on the sheet or not, but that's the one right there. 24-inch, SGN 24.
It's not on the sheet.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. But he specified that. So that needs to be transferred on the plan too, I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
It came with it, so it's all complete.
So when we should not be going out in the field during construction to manage the project, to make sure the right fixtures are being installed in the field, because that's what I'm doing with your residential building. And I'm not your project manager, and I'm not going to do that. So when you come for an occupancy, or when you go for lot releases and you want number 7, your 7th residential unit or your 8th residential unit, and this building is not built properly, you're not getting any occupancies. I'm going to be completely clear with this. This has been a nightmare in the field, trying to manage your project for you, because you don't have plans that specify the materials to be installed, or the wrong ones get installed, or there's substitutions made, and then you get upset because you're not getting progress. You're not managing the project. It starts from the beginning. You need to have plans that show what's going to be installed in the field and stick to it.
Well, there's only thing that's lacking is this number is not specified on the new plan, right? But otherwise, everything she's spec'd it all out.
Yeah,
Just on that
that's
sheet,
correct.
that's the spec right there, so.
what we're telling you, that's a problem for, it has to be extremely specific.
I don't know if he has even put that down in there or not, but
Okay, that's-
And was there any spec for the other light, Michael, the one under the awning? We haven't seen anything on that yet.
Yeah,
there's a picture of that too. There's a cut sheet of that too.
yeah, was that in a previous submittal?
Yes, it was the one before this one.
We need one set of plans. You may think it's redundant, but we need one set of plans, because when the inspector goes in the field, whether it's me or Bill or Fred, they need to know what they're looking at. They're going to take one set of plans.
right, let me,
So, Kristen, is it easy for you to look in that last submittal where the gooseneck spec was?
That looked like one email, so she's probably gonna have to go back through her emails to see that she can figure out which one it was.
I just texted him to see if he can join us for a couple of minutes. He had set up to 9:30, but
So do you think it's part of the commercial building plan
yes,
package?
it was.
Was it a separate spec sheet like the other lights we received?
I think he sent it to you as a separate sheet.
A separate
I'll
sheet?
send it to me, yeah. It was showing on the plan. I think it was the one before the submittal.
Because these were all the documents that we had
Right.
our last.
This is illumination, commercial building plan, cover page, landscape plan, mailbox.
This is the reason it gets so confusing, is these things come in dribs and drabs, and therefore it's very difficult for the office to try to figure out which thing is coming in. It's supposed to all come in at the same time and be done with everything on it.
And also, Farouk, before you get into a meeting, you should go over all your plans and your presentations so you're organized.
I'm looking at it myself right now.
Okay.
When something says, for example, on those plans, it said flash front typical. Michael, what does that mean?
It means that they're all the same, assuming that a spec is listed somewhere on the plans.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have them as part of this
All right.
commercial building file.
Okay, so
Yeah, I just texted him to send it to me again.
so that light, I assume, is an LED of some sort with a
Yes, it is. It's a round puck light. They call it puck lights.
block lights. Okay.
Yeah, that's what was submitted.
Okay. Well, so I think let's get this commercial building. So I think if I can speak for the board, I think we're generally pleased with the finishes and the textures and the light. And as soon as we have the lighting specs and get the specs clearer on the windows, the black finish, I think that we're pretty good on this. And I'm not sure if you listed the color of the standing seam metal roof on this. Doesn't give us a color. So colors are just as important as the manufacturer. So even the wall lights, I'm not sure they say black on them. So all the colors on the lights and the light specs are just as important. But I think the stone looks good, all the trim looks good, and we need it all wrapped up. We can't give you approval till it's wrapped up.
Michael?
Yes.
For example, on the plan we're looking at, the front elevation where it just says new standard seam metal roof type. Isn't that, I mean, those are the kinds of things that have to be specific as to what they are on the plans. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we need the manufacturer on that, and certainly the color. We know it's standing seam, and so that would be
Yeah.
The other thing I notice is that the seams on that are running, I don't know, north south, and then on it looks like on the rendering the seams are running east west.
they should go up and down. but as they are on this drawing. I don't remember the rendering, but this,
Now, I'm just looking at the drawing in front of me, which is this regular drawing, and you see the way over the village common signs, they're going north-south. But then the roof on the left there, it doesn't tell us that they're going north-south. They seem to be drawn east-west.
oh, so the main roof of the building has asphalt shingles, I believe.
Yes,
Okay,
And only the tower has the metal standing
that's
seam.
correct.
all right. Do we see anything about the asphalt symbols on that drawing? I
Yeah.
don't see anything.
On the right elevation, there's certainty landmark shingles. There's a color there, I believe.
Yes,
Does it have a color?
yes.
No, it says, I can't read it. It says,
Landmark is. yeah.
Landmark is a brand,
Yeah,
a
It
manufacturer.
just says type. It doesn't give us a color.
Yeah, we need the
no,
color.
typical, it just says typical, which is all the way around.
No,
Yeah.
but
What color is it? Yeah. All right. So is Jamal joining us, Farouk? Or?
Yes, I just asked him if he can, so.
Okay. All right. So we have a spec on the roof, but no color, same as the standing seam.
No, the color is given too, I know it is.
it's not on the
it's-
plans.
No, I'm talking about on the plans. Hey, Jamal, can you just come for a couple minutes? You know, they just want to have a couple of answers from you, that's all. Can you join? All right? Yeah, thanks. Give me, all right, thanks. He's coming.
Okay.
Okay, somebody had a question about the size of the light. It's given on the sides, 12-inch tall Westinghouse Meshack wall sconce, right here. So,
Right, but there's colors, Farouk. There's color options. We need to know which.
right. I'll ask him if he is. We'll get him, the input right now, so he can send it right back with the.
No, but it needs to be on the plans, Jamal, on the plans.
Right. He's not here yet. Just one sec.
So through the chairman, Michael, in the future, we need to have the designer that's going to make the changes to the plans at these meetings. Otherwise, I'd recommend that we not meet with Farouk again, because we need to have the person that's going to make the changes hear our concerns.
Yeah.
He was here. He waited and then he left. He's coming back.
Yeah. So Farouk, you just need someone that's going to carry through. You certainly, I'm
Yes.
sure, have a lot on your plate, and you need to make it somebody's job to make the changes that we're telling you that you need to make in order to get approval here. I mean, as we've said before, this probably could have been settled weeks ago. It has to be someone that's focused on getting these plans to the level that they need to be in order for us to approve them. So is Jamal joining the?
Yes, he's joining us. He just said he'll be right with us. So
Okay. So
Hi, I'm on the call now.
Hey,
yeah,
Jamal.
he's here now.
So Jamal, we're going through these commercial building drawings with Farouk, and we're generally pleased with the siding details, the stone, the trim, the windows. But what needs to be on this plan are all the colors, and of course the specifications. There's no color on the standing seam roof, nor the certainty landmark shingles on the main roof. And then I think we need a little more detail on the window colors, the actual color of the extrusion. And we're missing a couple of lighting specs. We've got the sconce lights on the sidewalls, which we like very much. I'm not sure it calls it out as black. And we also need the drawing to call out the specification number and color on the gooseneck lights. And we believe there are lights underneath the fabric canopy.
If you go to the other drawing sheet, I'm pretty sure I had sent all the specification sheets for all the lighting. to
On-
Farouk.
Which sheet is that, Jamal?
If you look up, actually, but also the siding color is called on there.
Yep, siding
It's-
we found. Yep, siding great.
And then gooseneck. Oh.
Other
Moving
way.
too fast. All right. All the specifications were sent to Farouk, and I just re-emailed them again.
Okay. So it needs to be on the drawing. This is the drawing that we're assuming is going to make its way into the construction sets that the subcontractors are going to use. And it's also the drawings that we approved, obviously. So Jim or somebody else is going to be in the field, and they're going to be able to look at this drawing and say, yes, the goosenecks are 24 inches and they're black per the drawing.
Okay.
Jamal, you did send a cut sheet with the number that you spec'd out, but the design review board wants that number specified on the plan. He said SSA number. We found the gooseneck spec cut sheet, but it's not specified on the plan. They just want that number on the plan.
Sure.
And the color.
And
the color.
Yeah. So again, we see the sconce lights on the building, happy with them. Just has to be buttoned up on the drawing. We've seen the goosenecks from an old submission. That has to be on the drawing. And again, the whatever lights you're using under that canopy, that needs to be on the drawing as well.
The puck lights. He had sent me the cut sheet, but it wasn't the other submittal. So
Okay. Well,
this has got to be placed on this one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it, right?
yep, we have the stone call out. New England ledge. We've got the hardy board sidings both called out. And the AZAC trim. So the window schedule, if you could include maybe manufacturer on that and the color of the extrusion too, Jamal, that probably would help everybody.
The
Okay.
manufacturer is given there.
Yeah,
United is the manufacturer.
It's just everywhere. You know what I'm saying? If it were all on the window schedule, I think it would just be easier for everybody.
Okay, I can put the manufacturer name on there. Do you guys need to have another meeting, or you can approve this without me having to come on here again?
We're only going to approve one complete set. We've got strands of stuff all over the place, Jamal. So we need it all buttoned up. It has to be bulletproof here.
I understand, but do you need another meeting, or you can do that versus just looking at the plans, final set sent over to you guys? Because it seems like nothing is changing as far as the design of the building. It's just a matter of you guys want to see some notes on there, and that's about it. I don't know if there's a need for a whole meeting for that.
Well, I think there has to be a vote. Once we have a complete set and everybody understands, then we can have a vote. We cannot vote without a complete set, unfortunately. And this has been ongoing. We've got to have all the information needs to be on one document. That's going to travel with this building through the life of the construction, and most importantly, the approval process once it's built. Which has been a problem. So,
Jamal, you know the things they want on it, right? We could turn this around really quick. They want the colors of the lighting and the specs shown on the plan, all on one sheet, meaning on one submittal. So,
okay.
Just
all right,
right, guys. Is that? Yeah.
Everything's got to be on these drawings. These specific architectural elevations
Okay.
need to have all the callouts, the colors, the manufacturer.
And then, Michael, did you want like additional pages added to this file with those spec sheets included?
Yeah, well, the cut sheets, certainly on each light fixture or any other specialty information, like the windows, I think we typically require a cut sheet on the windows, the typical cut sheet from the fixed windows. And I think you're using two different types here, Jamal, right?
Yeah, one is for a storefront, which is custom made.
Yeah.
And the
so
other one is more.
If there's a cut sheet on that window and then a cut sheet on the United windows for the dormers, I think that would be necessary.
Okay.
Okay. And you got the sconce lights on the walls already. Again, we've got the gooseneck, just not in this document, and we're looking for the lights under the canopy. There is no specific call out on the black fabric. I don't know if it's umbrella or whatever. It's going to have to be fire rated, I'm sure. And if there's a cut sheet on the stone, I think that would be helpful as well.
Okay.
I have a
And-
couple questions.
And one last thing, I think we're missing the color, if we didn't say it already, on the certainty roofing, the main roof of the building, and the standing seam color.
I thought the color was there, man, but they're not saying that.
It's not on the plans.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Michael, through you, when you're done, I want to ask a couple questions.
Sure.
I'm finished. Jamal, do you feel like you understand what we're looking for?
Is that the color?
Yeah, you just want to see some call outs on the plans,
Yep.
which is self-explanatory.
Yep. As if you're handing this to the contractor to order all the pieces. That's what we're looking for.
Sounds good.
Okay. Jim, do you have questions?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Michael. A couple questions, Jamal. Maybe I'm just not finding it and you can straighten me out. On sheet drawing A4, which is what we're looking at right now. On the elevation on the first floor, below the marquee, below the awning, you're showing a note that says New England ledge veneer typical, and the note is pointing to the shingle. Then above the roof, above the awning, the shingle is called hardy shingle pearl gray typical. What is the difference in those shingles?
Sec. I see that you're calling out the New England ledge veneer. Which note you're talking about?
Yes, so on the first floor, the shingle is New England ledge veneer typical.
That's not a shingle.
That's the stone, Jim. I
That's a
believe.
stone.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, that's the stone. Well,
They're two different hatches also.
okay, so on the first floor going up
So
to,
you've got, sorry to interrupt, Jim, but on the lower elevation below that, there's an old call out, Jamal.
Yeah, that I can fix.
Yeah, you got
I noticed that right now. That I can fix. It's calling out. It's pointing to the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It should be pointing down.
that's what I'm
But-
questioning.
I thought you were talking about the drawing above.
Good catch, Jim.
Okay, then if you could remove that note so that it's not confusing.
No, it just has to be pointed to the stone. That's all.
Okay, and then the 2-inch stone cap typical, what is that?
I would defer to Farouk to call it the material because all the material information is provided by the developer. I'm not sure which one they're planning to use. It could be bluestone. It could be just a typical stone cap as well.
Yeah, so that's the, Farouk, that is the, where the stone ends and the siding
Yes.
begins. There's a continuous cap there. We need a call out on that. You need to tell us what that's going to be. Please.
Okay, yeah, it is the bluestone, yes. The word blue is missing, the 2-inch bluestone cap. So
2-inch bluestone. Okay, there you go, Jamal. 2-inch bluestone.
Is the manufacturer there?
no, it's the same company we did buy it from, the supplier. I don't think there's a specific manufacturer. It's a natural stone, so. Bluestone is natural.
Yeah, so, but if it's part of the stone system, then please include the spec sheet on the cap as well. But if you're gonna have it manufactured in the field, that's 2-inch bluestone.
Jamal, you got it?
Yep, I have that.
Okay, we just want to wrap this up, so.
last question on the doors, again on A4, on the top elevation in the front entrance, it says full light door. Is there a specification for that? Manufacturer, size?
It's the same manufacturer as the windows, the fixed one, so it's tri-fab. It's a door that comes from the storefront manufacturer.
Okay, so could it say storefront door?
Sure.
Okay, thank
There's a
you.
note right to the right where it says storefront tri-fab system.
Okay. And so the door is integral to that storefront. Is that the?
Correct.
Yeah, it's all one piece, I think so.
It's a fixed piece is my guess. And so, you know,
It all,
Jamal,
comes
could
from
it be,
it all comes from the same manufacturer. It's a storefront company. It's like similar to Century Glass and whatnot. They manufacture that and they come and install it.
Yeah. So typically, Jamal, the door, comes to us as a separate spec. Again, if there's a cut sheet available for that specific composite, that the doors and the windows, that would be very useful.
yeah, I had that cut sheet. I supplied that in the very first submittal, but we'll add that in notes.
Okay, put it in the next submittal, please.
Now, maybe Jamal, you might want to put that arrow to the door also. You're only showing towards the window. So if you have that same thing on the door too, so that will cover that. Right?
Sure.
That storefront tri-fab?
Yep.
Yeah.
Why don't you send me those cut sheets that you
I
have?
will send that to you. Okay. And you're gonna put those puck lights on too, right? So, and they want the color too on that, so.
We can have a meeting after this to discuss.
Sure.
Yeah, so I just noticed the call out on those 4-inch recessed LED lights underside of awning. If you can also put the manufacturer stuff on that as well, just like you did on the 12-inch tall Westinghouse. Mayfair or wall sconce or whatever that says. That would be needed. Okay, everybody clear what we need here?
Yes. Jamal, you're all set?
all right,
Yep.
Michael,
Yes, Hazel.
and on that AZAC stitching, the fascia board type, do we need a color on those?
Yeah, let's add white to that, I assume, Jamal?
Yeah. That's going to be white.
Yep.
All the fascia trim is white.
Awesome.
Anything else?
All right, Jim, you good on your end?
Thank you, yes.
All right, Jamal, you staying with us or you need to leave?
No, I was scheduled for an 8:30 meeting. I had to step out of my current meeting to take this call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on. We want to talk about the summer house next. Is that our?
Hey, Michael,
Yes,
may I ask another question while we're on this?
yes, Cindy, I'm sorry.
Please.
Yes, please.
That's okay. On drawing that's labeled A2 of this set, in the back, it shows a big area that is described as green space in the commercial building.
Okay.
I guess my question is if Farouk could explain again what that green space area is supposed to be, because it didn't match up with what I thought the landscaping around the building was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Cindy,
what sheet
yeah.
was that, Cindy?
A2,
8. My suggestion was that we hold off on the landscaping. We had some questions about how that was going to work with the rest. And, at this point, I would just, if we could just deal with the building and deal with the landscape and the area around it at a later time.
Yeah,
Because
so
I think we had some questions about it. Cindy, we talked about it. We had some questions about, how that actually was going to work. And I think we're going to kind of wait until we at least got the building organized before we deal with the landscape.
yeah. So Farouk, if you can look at this specific plan that's mentioning here, and again, nothing extraneous on this. If this doesn't, hopefully this is as consistent with the landscaping plan on these areas. Green space, I can't read it, but just make sure you check that out. And to Hazel's point, you need to triple check the landscaping plan. And I don't know if you have someone helping you with the landscaping plan, if they want to be on the next call or
This,
what.
yeah, this landscaping plan was developed by Waterman Design and approved by the DRB in 2015, and that hasn't changed at all. It's the same exact plan.
Okay. So these things on the plan that were on this sheet A2, those rectangles that are shaded, do those match up with the landscaping plan?
Yes, they do. They do match up with that. I think he just put that in to complete it. We don't know the use of the building yet. Therefore, I think he just left it like that. But like Hazel said, when I need to get the building up to satisfy the decision requirements and complete it on the outside, and then we can start focusing on the landscaping part of it.
Okay.
Which is also specified in the landscaping plan.
Okay. Well, we have that on our agenda today.
Yes.
To Hazel's point, if the building's not ready, then are you sure you're ready to talk about the landscaping plan?
Well, I was assuming that the landscaping plan was already approved. I would just stay with it unless you guys have some comments on that,
I think our comments last time was that there was a rectangle on the landscaping plan for the commercial building, and it's not a rectangle anymore.
Yeah, you're talking about the turret. That was accommodated in that landscaping plan. But we can talk about it when we come to it if that's what you wish.
Okay. I guess my point is, if we're ready and we're sure it's complete, we can talk about it today, or just wait until Jamal's ready with the final building plans.
It's either or.
Okay, Hazel, you think we should wait?
There's so many little niggling things that are going on. I just would like to take this one step at a time and make sure the building plans reflect what we're trying to build there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
well, the existing plan includes pavers all the way around
Right.
the periphery, right? So this indication of a big rectangular spot of green space is really pavers with
Right.
potted something in it, right?
Yes, that's
It's
exactly right.
It is not lawn or,
No. This is just a architectural plan. There is no landscaping shown on this. Landscaping plans are separate.
So if these two rectangles are not part of the building, I think we should get them off this plan.
Okay, I can tell them to remove it.
A little bit confused about that. Which two rectangles are you referring to, Michael?
I'm looking at this A2 sheet, first floor plan, and on the right-hand side, there's a tall shaded rectangle. Yep. And then there's a small, I can't read those on the screen, but unless those are pertinent to the building structure, we should take them off.
No, they're not.
So, okay, well, hold on a minute. So in order for Farouk to progress on this, he's got to get approval for everything on the ground, whether it's a landscape plan, whether it's common area. I mean, his parking lot was approved as part of the special permit. The planning board leaves the landscape plan, the hardscape plan, and all the elements associated with the building to the design review board. The rendering that I have showing the area around the commercial building shows lighting, benches, planters, hardscape, grass area, plantings. All of those things need to be shown on a plan, Farouk. We're expecting to see those. And when you say they were all approved, I don't know where they were approved.
If you go to the landscaping plan, they show that on the landscape, not here, but on the landscaping plan.
Right, but the commercial building has its own hardscape, it has its own
Right.
lighting.
Yes, that's what I mean. It was already approved, so.
When?
It was done in 2015.
Not for the commercial building.
Yeah, it was for the commercial building too.
Okay, so you show me the approval.
Okay, I mean, I submitted that plan
No, wait a minute. To who?
to you. There is a landscaping plan all in one for all the residential buildings and the commercial buildings. I think you will see that if you go to that file, it's there.
You received approval for a landscape plan in the common area for the residential portion of the development.
There was one landscaping plan that was submitted, not by me, but by the previous developer, and that was approved. And if you go back, Kristen, do you have, are we going to discuss that right now? See, this is the plan we're talking about. This is the one, I didn't do this. This was the one that was approved years ago.
So do you know what you're building for the purple area?
Yeah, if you go further down, this is just a rendering of it. If you go, keep going down and you will see that. See, now comes the plants. Go further down, keep going, it's all there.
I see all that. So the design review board needs to approve that. That was submitted. That was not approved. Now, that doesn't mean they won't approve it. I think it was well thought out by Waterman Design.
Yeah.
But the design review board needs to approve that because that's all associated with two commercial buildings.
Right. I did not know if it was approved or not, but I thought I was told it was all approved, the landscaping plan.
So you know that the plan that you just got approved is
Yeah.
not reflected in this design because these footprints are very different from what you just got approved. I'm sorry, from what the board is reviewing right now.
Okay, keep going down, and the only difference is that turret, that they added the turret later. So other than that, it's the same exact footprint. So see, these are all the details of the plants in the plantings. This came from way back when, but I asked them to change the date on it, so you would have it all under one date. So it's all there.
So when did they change the date for, what is the? new
Just
date?
on August 12th.
Okay, so we had this discussion last meeting, and what we had asked was we wanted the location of the turret shown on the landscape.
Yes, there is a sheet submitted, on a site plan that's shown too.
Yeah, but we wanted it on the landscaping plan. So if this is the plan you're submitting for us to approve, we need that box changed for the orientation. And again, there's lots of information here and it looks pretty good, but I think we were looking for an updated full landscaping plan.
If I could recommend through Michael, through the chair, that Farouk, you go back to Waterman Design and have them contact us with new plans.
I mean, this
Yeah.
shows two buildings too. We have one building we're dealing with.
Right. Well, the second one is, got to be built later on, but it's there. It was approved by the planning board, but I'm only building one building right now.
What are you going to do where that building is going to go eventually?
Well, we can have up to 9,000 square feet in total. That building could be 6,000 square feet. I'll have to see how, it doesn't need to be done till almost the end of the project. I think it's like after 13th or 14th occupancy. So it gives me a little chance to see where the things are. The commercial, usage right now is dead in Westborough.
So when this new building we're looking at today is finished, what will be where this box is shown, this second building? What will be there?
It would be just nothing but dirt.
Dirt?
Yeah. I would have to come in front of you to show you the rendering of that. I mean, the architectural plans of that, which I think very highly likely will be very much identical to the first one.
Yeah, doesn't have to be, but I understand.
Yes.
So again, given the current economic situation out there, maybe something other than dirt needs to be in that place. I don't know, because it could be a while.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know that yet, but we have a little bit of time for that. We could just grade it out and put some loam down and grow grass on it.
Okay. All right. Okay, but regardless, I think you're best served by going back to Waterman Design with some help.
Waterman Design, I had talked with them and they had given me a plan of that turret along with it. That's all that needs to show on this. That's it. The rest is all the same. So.
Okay. All right.
So why don't we have them show it on the plan?
I will do that.
Awesome. Okay. Summer house. Okay, so we added windows here.
Yes.
We've got the French door on the
Yes.
gable end.
Yes.
All right, and do we have call outs?
Right.
Kristen, can you zoom in? Probably on the two bottom. Well, okay, that's good.
I don't see any call out on the windows.
They're all United windows.
Well, I know, but and the metal roof, it doesn't tell us what color that is.
No, it says that it's galvanized. It's
And the
24-inch
shingles,
metal panels. You see that on the top right-hand corner?
metal panels. What color are the metal?
Galvaline is the color.
Yeah, I
What?
think Galvaline is that
Galvaline.
it's like tin or galvanized metal. All right, and you got the certainty call out there. It's
Yes.
driftwood.
With the color specified.
All right, and siding.
Yes.
What's that note say down below there?
The color herringbone, straight edge, it's all there. Cedar impressions.
Your impression. So it's vinyl.
All right. Roof is there, the siding is there, it's all there.
All right.
Jim, is it all there for what you need?
Probably.
I think we got to look on that. Are we staying with the stucco?
Yes.
All right, Kristen, can you kind of push the drawing? There you go. I'm looking for a call out on the stucco siding. Color. 12-inch AZAC.
The color of the brick is given there too.
I see that, rustic.
Yes.
Right. All right, so we're looking for those purlins are 12-inch AZAC. I assume those are going to be white.
Yes.
All right. And I'm looking for, are there callouts on the plan for windows anywhere or elevations? We don't see that for.
They're all just white. If you've already built this garage, a full cut garage has already been built, so it's identical to that.
Okay. All right. So, Kristen, can you give us the plan? See the plan view of this summer house someplace? There it is. It's foundation right there. Can you scroll down just a little more, please? Yeah, so you don't have any window callouts. You have a size W2442, typical.
Yep.
but there's no note on that. Is that a Harvey window? What is that?
It's United.
United. Okay.
Throughout the whole project is United.
Okay, so I know you've already built the garage. But
Yes.
we need the spec sheet attached to this drawing for those windows, and a call out on the drawing that they are United windows and the color. And then call out the white AZAC, that the AZAC's going to remain white. And again,
Yes.
I didn't see the call out for stucco and the color of the stucco.
It's off-white. I mean, that's what we had talked about the last time.
Yep.
I could put that on the off-white.
It doesn't say that though. That I saw. But anyway, so it's got to be on there. Is Jamal doing this also, Farouk?
No, there's another gentleman that's doing it.
Okay. And then what do we got for lighting on this?
It's all the interior lighting, and the garage door lights, the same as the one that we already built.
Okay, but the
If you
garage.
look at the doors, you'll see that. If you look at the side elevation.
Approved. Is there a light at the door on this summer house?
In the front, you mean?
Yeah.
No, nothing is shown.
Okay.
Well, there should be.
I think you're gonna need a light. Lawsuits are expensive.
Oh, there should be a light. Is there a back door and a front door, isn't there?
Nope, there's one door. We talked to Bill Heslett, I think
Right.
about this last time or the time before, that we only need one means of egress.
Okay. Well, then it obviously needs a light.
Yeah, so I think you gotta put, I don't know, again, I'm just guessing maybe you'd reuse a smaller version of the garage lanterns or something for,
Yeah, I think we're just gonna use the same lantern in the front of it.
okay, so you gotta show it in a position on the elevations and a call out.
Okay.
Fine. All right, does anybody see anything else that this plan needs to address?
What's the color of the AZAC? It just says,
Just white.
Yeah, he's gonna put in white.
okay, you're gonna put in white. And the stucco is gonna be white. What color is stucco?
Off-white.
Off-white.
He's gonna write in off-white.
What is the note where the stucco is? I can't even read it.
It said ETEFTFS, that's a short form for stucco.
Okay.
It's shown everywhere.
All right, so we got a roof color, we got a brick color, we're gonna get a window color, we're gonna get siding and trim colors, and we need lights.
Yeah, they're all there, right, except for the light?
Okay. Cindy, you have any additional comments?
No, thank you.
Hazel, how about you?
No.
All right. All right, let's move on to residential types A, B, and C.
Michael, could I wonder if I could have a suggestion? If Jim could just give us a little discussion about the fact, I know he went out and looked at these and there are certain changes that need to be made in them. And I'm wondering if Jim just gives us a little discussion about his visit out there and sort of an overview of the changes that need to be made in the plans. And then we don't spend an hour going over these ourselves until we get the plans as they're supposed to be.
Fair enough. Jim, would you like to comment?
Sure. So
Can I say something real quick? I believe on Friday, late in the day, is when Farouk sent over revised elevations with the changes Jim had requested. So what we have on the screen should have the changes that Jim found reflected. So
are these the plans that you on the screen, Kristen, that I found on my chair this morning? That are on the screen, I mean?
Well, I can't remember timing wise when we got the revised plans from Farouk, if I had enough time to print those out or not.
This
But what I have in this file is what I received at the last minute on Friday.
this
Okay.
says at the top, Village Commons, type A plans,
Yeah.
August 10th.
I mean, until I've had a chance to look at the plans and digest them, I mean, I just can't sit here for an hour and go through these piece by piece again. I mean,
Through the chairman,
Yes.
Jim had reviewed it on site with us, and he had picked out two or three changes per plan, and all those these are final plans. They're ready to be voted on. There's no more changes on these.
Who
I'm
would
not
know?
voting on them.
Jim had pointed out, say for example, this is type A, right? This is type A, right? So he had said, one of the things, Jim, you remember, on the rear of the building, there were two little architectural things that you had wanted removed because we're not building those. So we took care of that. And the side door was showing only 9 lights, and it's actually 6 lights going up and down. We fixed that. And that's basically it. You have 2 comments on type A.
So stop. On my plans that I'm looking at that I reviewed with Shammy in the field,
Right.
on, let's see, type A. First of all, member nurse asked that I give a synopsis of what I found in the field, not that Farouk, you comment. That's number 1. Number 2, I did a thorough review in the field on, I think, Tuesday afternoon. Shammy happened to be there. I went over it with him. There were numerous things that were different in the field from the approved plans. There were windows that were not correct. There were doors that were not correct. There were windows that were missing. There were windows that were installed that weren't supposed to be installed. On the type A plans, I'm looking at what I noted in the field. There was a front door with a side light that had been installed that was not shown on the plans on the front. There was on the right side elevation, siding that was not noted on the plans that was installed. I'm not saying there was anything wrong with the siding. I'm just saying it was not noted on the plans. On the left side elevation, there were windows that were installed that were not shown on the plans, or I should say different windows that were installed that were not shown on the plans on the left side elevation. The rear was okay. So on type A itself, there were probably 3 to 4 things that
Right.
needed to be fixed on the plan. Now, Farouk, you may have submitted plans on Friday afternoon, but I was not in the office on Friday, and I'm seeing them now for the first time. So I don't know if they're correct or not. The same goes for all 3 of the building types. And on building type B, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things that need to be fixed on the right elevation, 3 things that need to be fixed on the left elevation.
Yep.
The front was okay, and the rear was okay.
Yeah, I fixed them all.
Okay, you're saying so, but nobody's been able to confirm that.
Okay, I understand that. Every comment that you and I had discussed has been taken care of on all these 3 plans. So they're ready. There's no more,
On type A, there were 3 things in the field on the rear elevation that needed to be fixed.
Can you go to type A, please? Just so.
Just hold on, Farouk, okay? They're not talking to you. They asked me to give a synopsis of what I saw in the field.
Okay.
So I'm on type A. On the left elevation, the doors were wrong. I don't have a problem as long as he fixed them.
Should I respond?
Jim, do you want to look at these changes, Jim, or what would you like to do, Jim?
So on we're looking at type A.
Yeah.
So if we look at the left elevation, the doors that were installed in the field were not as shown on the plans.
Which? Front door?
Bottom right.
Okay, so installed in the field were 6-pane doors, and that looks like what's here now. 6-pane doors. Okay, so that's right.
Yep.
Those look like, those are French doors, Jim, right? They're glass?
Yes.
Okay.
There's still no note on the color of the siding. On the rear elevation, there was a trim feature between the windows on the second story. It looks like that's been removed and that's now showing hardy plank. And that is what's installed in the field.
Correct.
It also looks like there's still no note on the color of the siding. The window to the left on the first floor, is that a kitchen window? On the plan, it's showing it's a solid state window. In the field, it was divided light windows. It looks like that was corrected. So that elevation, other than the color of the siding, looks correct.
I can't.
The front elevation, it looks correct. On the right side elevation, it looks correct. So it should be that type A is now, other than the siding color, type A is correct.
Farouk, go ahead.
Yes, through the chairman, we cannot specify the siding color here because all different homes are different colors. That's why, you know, we didn't specify that. So
We need to know what the colors are though, Farouk.
the colors are given by the design review board to select from, and we are selecting from those. But I cannot specify in this plan because this is a typical plan.
So Jim, so I assume there was a palette that was approved? Is that
Correct.
how it worked originally?
Do you have that palette, Farouk, to be added to
Yes,
this?
I have that, and you can, when you come to sign on the occupancy, you can double check that.
So Farouk, is it possible to put on this plan that, I don't know if there are 3 pallets for this type A house or, you know? Again, Jim, you need something that you can approve easy in the field, right? Or someone else can.
Yes.
So if someplace the pallet options were listed, someone could say, oh, this is definitely pallet A. It's got the beige, blah, blah, blah. Is that something that would be helpful on this plan?
I can submit the palette that was approved by the DRB, but that was approved
Okay,
for
fine.
all of them, not just for A or B.
I understand. So I'm asking Jim, what helps in the field?
Well, if I had one master sheet, perhaps, that said the colors that are approved for type A are the following, type B and type C, then I would probably be all right with that. So for example, we have customers out there, and I met one of your homeowners who wants to already make changes to his landscaping. I don't know what agreements you make with your homeowners during construction, but if an owner wanted a color that was not an approved color, I would have no way of knowing, unless it's shown on the plan, what the approved colors are.
We do not give them the choice of colors outside of the palette. They have to pick from that palette that was approved with the DRB. Every single color is on that palette. And I'll send you should have it, you know, from the previous approvals, but I'll send you another sheet that you can have it as a master sheet.
So the whole point of this, Farouk, was to get one set of plans, not say, well, it was a previous plan. It was a previous plan. We need one set of plans. That's what we kept telling
This
you.
is the one set.
All right. So in the end, we're going to have a set of plans that talks about the A, B, and C
Right.
houses, right? Residential houses. On that cover sheet, we should have a schedule of the approved color schemes. And,
That's all that's missing on this plan. The rest is all exactly the way it's built.
okay. So again, this is the A type A plan.
Correct.
It sounds like what's drawn here is what exists in the field,
Correct.
right? And then we're going to get the same for B and C, but
Yes, we have that now.
and all of that's coming in one set of drawings, right? All 3 units, is that correct?
Right.
And on the cover sheet of that set of drawings, we should have a list of approved color schemes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I have that too.
So can, Michael, through you, can we move to the next type of building? Because I'm looking at the clock, it's 25 after 10. I have an 11 o'clock meeting
Let's,
field on Oak Street.
awesome. Let's go to B, please, Kristen. Thank you. Okay. Your floor, Jim.
Okay, thank you very much. So the front elevation is right. The rear elevation is right. The right side elevation, on that in the field, there were 4 problems. So I'm going to look at the plan now. So Farouk, the window on the porch in the 1 type B unit that was occupied, the window you're showing on the porch, which is 2/2 for 4 vertical divided lights, was not installed. So this plan shows that that window is supposed to be there. So if I go out in the field, I'm going to expect that that window is in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, you say absolutely, but it wasn't in.
It's sitting in there. It's not installed yet. This house is not complete yet.
But it's got an occupancy.
No, this one does not. B type has not been occupied. There's only one house that's under construction.
Okay, and then on the second floor, you have 1 window.
Yeah.
It was, the window that was installed in the field is not this window.
It
So,
is going to be now. We have it there. So
okay, well, you won't get an occupancy until it is, and you won't get an occupancy on any of the Bs until they are.
absolutely. Agreed.
All right, you're saying absolutely. Let the record show he said absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
Also on the right side of that elevation, on this plan that I'm looking at on the screen, I'm showing a small 2/2 window. In the field, you had a full-size window.
Yeah,
So you're going to replace it.
yes.
Also, on the shakes to the right where the garage is, there's a window there that's not shown on this plan. So when I go out in the field, I'm going to expect that window to be removed.
No problem.
Okay, let's go down to the left side elevation. On the second floor, this elevation looks different. Left side elevation. On the plan, I showed 2 side-by-side 2/2, in other words, 4 vertical divided light windows. That's what this plan shows, but the window was lower on the original plan.
Right.
Is that a stairway?
Yes, it's going to be exactly where this plan is showing. When you come to look at it, the windows are sitting there. They're not installed yet. I think it was supposed to come on Friday or Saturday. It rained. So he's going to probably get it done within today or tomorrow. If you want to come and look at it, you can. The siding is not even installed yet. So.
Okay, well, I'm all right holding you to this design. But again, I'm not going to sign an occupancy unless it reflects this design if the board approved this.
No problem. I think we've already agreed to that.
Okay, let the record show he said no problem.
Yes.
The 2 French doors on the stoop. Installed, they are 6 vertical. On the plan, it showed 5. So let's see, what have you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this does show what was installed in the field. Also in the field, there was no window to the right. You're showing a 2/2 double hung window. That's what the original plan showed. So I expect that window will be there.
Yes.
All right. So
There's
I'm
one more thing, Jim, that you may have overlooked. My other plan did not show the transom on it, and we have the transom in the field. So I showed that in this plan. Okay.
I see that. Very good. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So this is complete. All 3, A, B, and C, they're 100%. So.
Okay, so let's go now to
C.
C. Okay, when I was in the field, the front elevation had a door with panels and a side light, which now I see is on the plans. So that reflects what's in the field. We also had a carriage light aside the door, which I think is necessary, and I now see it on the plan. It wasn't on the previous plan. Is there a spec for that light, Farouk?
No, those are just the lights. There's no specs on that, so.
Are you going to carry that forward?
People buy those lights and bring them in, and I can, you know, they
Well, it's up
we
to,
want just to make sure that all the houses are the same. So,
Was there an approved fixture earlier, way back?
no.
I'll make sure they're all the same, that's all.
So why don't you submit us a spec on that light then so that we know what they are?
Okay.
The right side elevation is okay. Are you showing the stairs down, 2 stairs down? From the porch to the side to the
Yes, you
patio?
can see that, they're there.
Yep, okay, they weren't on the first plan, they're there now. Okay, so on the, can I go to the next page, Kristen?
Wait, is there a railing on the,
Yes, Hazel, on both sides the railings. They're already all built too, you can come look at it.
And it's shown on the plan.
Yes.
I don't see any note that about the railing on the right-hand side on the house.
It's there, it's shown in the drawing.
Yeah, it says railing. So Farouk, it's showing railing on the banister side. Are you putting it on the banister or on the house?
I don't know what you mean by that.
It's off the column, right? There's
It's
two,
off the column, both of them are.
both come to the column in this drawing.
Yeah, they're already built and complete, so you can look at it. So.
Okay, so originally, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Hazel, you fine with that?
Yeah,
Okay, originally you talked about it being on the side of the house. I think this is a better solution, so I'm not complaining. Okay, the rear elevation was fine. The left elevation, all right. So we had 2 different size windows in the field on the first floor. It looks like that's been fixed. Now they're 2/2 double hung windows.
Right.
It looks like the one on the left is a little smaller, but as long as they're double hung 2/2, and your note says that they are 2 different windows. We have a number 3 and a number 2.
Right.
So Farouk, are you going to install 2 different windows on that side?
Yeah, the same.
Well, they're called out as different on your plan, and one's a number 3 and one's a number 2.
Can you expand that a little bit, please? I think that's probably a typo. They're all the same. No, they're both the same, identical. That was the whole thing the last time when we had this conversation with the DRB. They wanted the 2 windows to be the same, so I took the old one out and installed the new one. I think it's just a typo.
no, I think you just didn't change it.
So Farouk, if I'm a contractor and you don't fix the typo, am I going to know what to do?
Yeah, they should be both the same windows. They are the same. All 3 of them are the same. 2, 2, and 2.
Okay, let me.
Actually, the 3 came from before. It used to be a 3. It's a 2 now. I can correct that.
Yeah, because on your plan, there is a distinction between the 3s and the 2s.
Right, right.
Okay. And they're shown on this plan. The one on the left is a 2, the one on the right is a 3. They're just slightly different in size. Okay, so let me now look at the second floor windows are correct. So according to this, it looks like that's the only thing you need to fix is that specification on the window. Other than that, it looks like he made the changes.
Thank you.
All right. So I guess the ultimate question, I assume the board is good with all these final tweaks and edits to these drawings. Anyone have any comments?
I have one comment, and this is just an observation in the field. So I am totally fine with these plans if the board approves these. I will say that he should add a color palette as perhaps a typical for the entire development, a color palette. And lastly, and this is for Farouk, if there are windows to be removed or windows to be added and the board approves these plans, that's what I'll expect to get an occupancy approval.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Okay. Cindy, do you have any comments?
No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Hazel, how about you?
My only comment is, by approving these plans, are we also approving the landscaping
No.
plans? Because I have some questions about those, or you want to make,
No, the buildings are separate from our landscaping.
thank you. Okay, that's fine. As I said, I do not want to approve landscaping at this time. And I also would just like to make the comment to Farouk, I hope he's not planting now, because this is the worst possible time of year to be putting any landscaping in. It'll just die.
Okay, so do we need to vote on this, Jim? What's our
Yes.
action?
Ask another question.
Yes,
Mike?
yes.
Sorry. The type C, I believe, which has the balcony, is that type C?
No, it doesn't.
I-
Type A has.
Is there one that's already built and or occupied that does not have the balcony? And is that the way it's going to remain?
Yep, Farouk, go ahead.
Cindy, all houses will be consistent. The one that's occupied has the balcony, and all the rest of them will have them too. So there's no discrepancy there.
But that's type A, isn't it?
That is type A.
Okay. So you're going to add balconies to the ones that don't have them now?
Well, they're not even built yet, so yes.
Okay.
Okay, so Jim, do we need to approve these? Is that the short of this?
Yes, and make sure that in your approval, you mentioned the new date, which looks like 5/3/17, revised 5/11/19, and 8/10/20. So if you'll give me a moment, if you'll bear with me and talk to Farouk about his landscape plan, I will type you a vote
Awesome.
out for these. This is just for the elevations, just for the homes, not for the landscaping.
Agreed.
All right. You guys go ahead. I'll type you something quick.
All right, landscaping,
Yeah, go to C, yeah. The other plans, yeah. Yeah, that's the first one, yeah. 9. Based on, can I say something, Mr. Chairman?
yes, please.
Okay. Based on the instructions given to me by Jim and the DRB, they wanted all landscaping plans in one folder, both residential and commercial. So I replaced the new landscaping plans based on the approved, elevations to reflect that. Right here is for type A. If you look at them, they're shown with the patio and type A. The patio dimensions are all the same. Every single one of them has got the same size patio, 18 by 15. And if you go to sheet number 11, this is for type B. Oops. What sheet? Yeah. This is for type B. And the landscaping plan. And then sheet 13 is for type C.
Wait, that one said the patio's 18 by 15. I thought
Yes.
the preceding one was 18 by 11.
I'm sorry. Can we go back? It's 18 by 15.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I
Yeah.
apologize.
They're all 18 by 15. Yeah, that's for type C.
And these are dated when, Farouk?
These are the latest ones. Oops. There should be a date on it. It said July 29th. Oh, August 12th.
August 12th, okay. All right. And any comments from the board about this specific, the C plan? Does this look like our expectation?
I have to say, I am concerned about the landscaping plans. Between the edge of the patio and the adjacent unit, it looks to me like he has trees there.
Mhm.
And I don't think there's going to be enough space. I am concerned that this landscaping plan is not really going to work because of the space now that things have been built. And I, quite frankly, would feel more comfortable if, who did these originally? Whoever did these originally goes out and looks, because I don't think there's enough space between the edge of this patio and the adjacent building to put in the type of landscaping that's on this picture
So
and have
this,
the things live.
yeah, so specifically, it says 5 MP. Those are bayberry, is that what I'm looking at? What are those? MP.
Northern Bayberry, it looks like 24.
Is there a picture in this package of what, Farouk, do you have a comment?
Yes. Just to keep the board appraised of it, I planted all the plants for this particular unit as an experiment. And Jim was out there looking at it. We only did one house.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, as I had stated to the board earlier, this landscaping plan is way too congested for the small houses that they have. I mean, you come look at it, it's way too many shrubs. And it's complete. One house is complete as an experiment. And Jim was there and he shared the view, that we are discussing here is exactly what Hazel just said. I think it may not be a bad idea for my landscape guy to come and maybe meet with Jim on the spot, if Jim has the time, and work out a plan that's practical. This is not a practical plan at all. So there's no space for people to move around. It's full of plants everywhere. So I'm not afraid of doing them, but I don't think practicality, governs that. So if Jim, being a gardener, if he meets with my landscaping guy, he could probably thin them down a little bit for the next ones. Because next month I'm planning on putting landscaping, because end of September would be a good time to do the planting.
I'm not sure if Jim's project management timeline.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, just to, if he wants.
So.
And I can submit another plan thinned down. So.
All right, so I guess I would encourage your landscaper to get involved with the process here. Hazel, do you think that would address your concern?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that the plan as it's set forth from the original units is really not feasible. And the last thing we want are a lot of plants out there that are then going to die.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So Hazel, would you be able to meet with Farouk and the landscaper or Jim or?
Yes, I could, but I'd like to see the landscaper set out a plan of what he thinks is going to work.
Okay.
With I mean, what the plants are, how far apart they're gonna go.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. I mean, I'm a pretty good on landscaping, but I don't know enough about root systems and how they're gonna water these. And I think that's the other important thing is who's gonna maintain these plans, because I do know that Jim had a conversation, he said, with one of the homeowners who said he wasn't planning to maintain anything.
Yeah. All right, hold on for, so that being said, and is that just for the C unit, Hazel? And do you share that opinion for the rest of the plans?
I think it all needs to
All
be
of
looked at.
Okay. And Jim, I know you're multitasking there. Are you of the same opinion?
I would agree that the approved current landscape plan is too aggressive. It's too dense. There, for the area, the size of the patios that we approved, that landscaping will choke each other out. It won't work. There
Right.
should be fewer ornamental plantings, perhaps one fewer tree. I'd have to see how they're spaced on the ground.
Okay. And would you like to be involved with that process, or do you have other tasks that you need to?
I don't mind as long as I only have to do it once.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
So, Farouk, is it possible that we could get a site meeting with you or Shami and the landscaper on site? Perhaps we'll be outside.
What I propose we do is I'll have a landscaper redo the landscape design, thin them out, and then meet with Hazel or Jim. You
Is that
know,
okay?
that way they'll have
That'll be
something
fine.
to look at.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is that okay, Hazel?
yep.
Okay,
Awesome.
all right,
Okay.
for all three of them.
Excellent. All right. So we're gonna. When do we think that's going to happen?
I'll call them within a 3-4 days.
Okay.
Oh, well, Jim is away for a couple of weeks, so I would look at this not earlier than the middle of the month.
Yeah. So you want to get planting by the end of the month, Farouk? Is that what
Correct. That is correct. That's the plan.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that sounds like a good idea. Let's try to work on that. And Jim, have you had a chance to look at the motion for the A, B, and C dwellings?
I'm almost done.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Excellent. So I think that's the end. So I assume that we're going to be able to make a motion on the A, B, and C dwellings. And then Farouk, you've got some work to do on the commercial building and the commercial landscaping and the summer house.
Right. Summer house is only a couple of items that you've asked. I'd like to get that approved as soon as possible. I got built that, so.
Yeah, well, it's we got to have everything has to be filled in, as you
Right.
know.
I'll do that.
Okay. All right, and Cindy and Hazel, you guys are pretty good on what we saw with the A, B, and C dwelling units?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Farouk, hang on to your hat. You just might get an approval today.
Okay.
The only thing, Michael, that I just as a procedural thing, and I'm not going to hold up this motion, but it is difficult, dealing with these plans in the fact that to see the changes that were made. I mean, we're looking at plans and we're not having an opportunity to compare them to what was originally approved. We're now in a situation where we're approving what somebody went ahead and built, not what the original plans were. So, as I said, I think this is a difficulty and just something that hopefully will not happen again.
I agree, and I think and again, we can only be more. We can only scrutinize more the proponents that are coming in front of us now to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
No.
Right. So,
Part of the complication was that the original developer was not me, and if I had had the plans all, then this, we wouldn't even have this, so that'll be the same.
Are you able to approve the minutes while we're waiting by any chance? The 7:22 and 7:29 minutes?
I thought I downloaded those.
Kristen, I have to say, I haven't had a chance to review them.
Okay.
All right, so there's your answer, Kristen. We apologize.
Sorry.
I can't tell you that I have had a lot of time to spend on it. So I'm assuming we're going to have a meeting fairly quick in the next week or so.
Well, Michael, Jim's away on vacation for the next 2 weeks.
Is he? Okay.
You're welcome to meet without me. I leave it up to your decision.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to hear from 85 East Main Street. I would imagine, Jim, if you're okay with that, Jim.
Yes.
And I don't know if Farouk's going to be able to get the commercial building and the summer house under wraps.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got to get these up.
Yeah.
I
So
got to do it. So.
yeah. So Jim, you're in this week, right? But gone the next preceding.
No, I'm out after today.
After today. Okay. Okay.
I'll be back on the 14th.
14th.
So it's September 1 to September 14. I return September 14th.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a motion here. Just let me proof it myself really quick.
Sure.
I'll just send it to you.
Mr. John, you still on the phone? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I've just sent it. Hope you'll get it right away. Says it's in my outbox.
Nothing yet.
If Kristen has it, maybe she can just put it up on the screen.
It's still sitting in my outbox.
Oh,
I may have to read it to you because I've got to go.
Okay.
Hey, Jim, could
Yep.
you copy and paste it into the chat?
Oh, I could. Good idea. I'm going to do that right now. Hmm.
Or the other possibility is just to share screen on it.
It's an idea.
Okay, I just pasted it into the chat. Do people see it?
I do not.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, Did it just pop up? There it is.
Yep, I've got it.
So I have to actually leave to be at my 11 o'clock meeting. I'm going to be a couple minutes late as it is. So if you have a future meeting, just let me know.
Sounds good, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
Jim, thank you for all your hard work on this.
Okay, bye-bye. I'll see you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Have a great vacation. All right,
Michael, do you want that motion?
I have lost it on my screen. I don't see it. Can you make that motion, Hazel? Is that-
Sure.
Okay.
I move that the Design Review Board approve plans for Village Commons for residential structures as follows. Residential building type A, sheet T1, semicolon, A1, A-1 through A-5, dated 4/3/19, revised 8/5/20, and 8/10/20. Residential building type B sheet -1, A-1 through A-5, dated 5/3/17 and revised 5/11/19 and 8/10/20. Residential building type C sheets T1, A-1 through A-5, dated 3/13/17, revised 7/18/17, 4/1/20, 5/29/20, 6/22/20, and 8/4/20.
Kristen, did you get all that, or do you have that in the text?
Yes, I copied and pasted the chat.
Excellent. I will second that motion. And we need a vote. Cindy?
Yes.
Hazel?
Yes.
I say yes. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So we're good to go, guys. And Baruch, we'll wait to hear from you on the other buildings and the.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna jam that in as soon as possible so we get that approval too.
Okay, very
Do you
good.
want a motion
Thank
to
you.
adjourn?
I second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I-
Aye.
Bye.
Did we have a roll call vote, Kristen, on the motion?
We did, didn't we? Yeah.
Did we do a roll call vote on the motion? Okay, great. All
Awesome.
right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, board.
Thanks, Michael.
Yep, you got it, guys. Bye now.
All right, bye.
Bye.